Calaroga Shark Media.
A lot going on, especially for Two-Story Week, which is Netflix and Seinfeld. But Late Night had a bunch of good jokes about the former president both being cold and falling asleep. Stephen Colbert said, so either he's falling asleep again or he's doing that little kid thing where he thinks if he can't see you, no one can see him. Kimmel, Eric Trump attended his dad's porn star hush money trial, which in the Trump family is as close as you get to playing catch in the yard. Colbert, so he paid out hundreds of thousands of dollars so his wife wouldn't find out he didn't have an affair. Melania, this is going to be hard for you to hear, but you're not the only woman I'm not having sex with. Fallon, Trump was so cold he came this close to hugging Eric for warmth. Fallon again commented on Trump calling the room an icebox. Even Biden's like, it's called a freezer, you old man. If you want to keep up with all that stuff, listen to the Ballots podcast. We're having a lot of fun putting that one together. Jerry Seinfeld had the red carpet for Unfrosted. That's the Pop-Tarts movie that's out on Netflix tomorrow. Jerry reunited with Michael Richards. You know Michael, he was Kramer on the sitcom Seinfeld. You may have heard of that sitcom. This was their first appearance together since April 20th, 2016. Michael Richards has kept a pretty low profile after that whole thing at the Laugh Factory in November of 2006. I, at one point in the script, was going to recap that incident for you, and I'm like, I don't want to even dance with that devil. Look it up. Look up Michael Richards' Laugh Factory if you don't know what I'm talking about. You're wondering what Jerry wore? Well, Jerry wore a black dress shirt and black tie under a gunmetal jacket. He also wore gunmetal pants and shiny black dress shoes. He also had a black watch. What did Kramer wear? He's not Kramer, he's Michael Richards. But picture Kramer, it's more fun. Michael Richards wore a white and light gray paisley dress shirt under a dark gray suit coat, matching pants and black shoes with some lightly tinted glasses. Also on the red carpet, Seinfeld's family. Wife Jessica, the 3 kids. Kids are 21, 18, and 23 now. Jerry was asked a hack question. What kind of Pop-Tart do you like, Jerry? Sugar Cinnamon's the only one I eat since the beginning. I don't like other flavors, and I really don't like the chocolatey ones or the ones that are s'mores. I hate. I don't like when they overdo it. Also on the red carpet, Jay Leno and his wife Mavis. You may recall that Mavis was diagnosed with dementia. Jay now has conservatorship. Jay said, thought it'd come to something fun for a change. Everything is so controversial. Just come to a fun, silly movie. It's great. I think people have a great time. We hang out every day. We have a great time. 44 years, so we're doing good. Jay Leno is now 74. He, like Jerry, didn't do anything special because he's not a big birthday guy. Mavis said, neither of us are. We just have each other. Also at the red carpet, Melissa McCarthy, Bill Burr, and bourbon entrepreneur Jim Gaffigan. I didn't get to this yesterday because we were getting long. Here's a really fun clip. Jerry and the Pop-Tart people got together. During this clip, I don't want to spoil it. You know what? Let me just let it roll.
Mr. Seinfeld, I'm Kelman P. Gasworth, the president of Pop-Tarts.
I just made a whole movie about Pop-Tarts.
Did you now? Well, isn't that something? Do you think maybe that's why you're here?
Beats me.
It's my understanding that you neither sought nor received permission to use our product in your movie.
What is that?
What Tardy is asking is, are you familiar with the concept of trademark infringement?
That sounds complicated.
Actually, it's quite simple. You see, Mr. Seinfeld, you took something of ours. And now, we're going to take something of yours. Show him, Tardy.
Schmoopy, Jackie Childs, and the Soup Nazi. My characters.
They're my characters now, Mr. Seinfeld. Tell me, how does it feel when people steal your ideas and then do whatever they want with them?
You mean like friends? Well, I gotta get going. I got a show tonight.
No, you don't. You're not a comedian anymore. I am. Why is Frankenstein wearing a sport jacket? It's not a wine tasting. We're terrorizing villagers.
I mentioned yesterday Jerry did an interview on In Depth with Graham Benziger. Some people noticed Jerry's hand is trembling during that video. I haven't seen any follow-up on that. During the conversation, he discussed his marriage and said, I was a very successful comedian. As a comedian, you think, I don't need anyone. That's what a comedian thinks. This is not a good partner. Someone who doesn't think they need anyone isn't a good partner. That's why most comedians either fail at marriage or don't even try it. It's really not for us. I wanted to see if I could do something I'm not really cut out for. He enjoys his children, saying you just want to watch them live. And the entertainment value of watching them try to live is the kids are very entertaining because they're very primitive humans. You may have seen some press this week about Jerry's comments about edgy comedy. Jerry said, we did an episode of Seinfeld where Kramer decides to start a business of having homeless people pull rickshaws because, as he says, they're outside anyway. You think I could get that episode on the air today? We would write a whole different joke with Kramer and the rickshaw today. We wouldn't do that joke. We'd come up with another joke. I agree. That joke would not get on NBC these days. Now, Rob McElhenney kind of did a backhanded Instagram post or something suggesting that on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they do that thing all the time. That is true, but an NBC sitcom rickshaw joke wouldn't happen these days. I agree with Jerry. If Larry David was 35, he couldn't get away with watermelon stuff and Palestinian chicken, and HBO knows that's what people come here for, but they're not smart enough to figure out, how do we do this now? Do we take the heat or just not be funny? And what they decided to be is, well, we're not going to do comedies anymore. There were no sitcoms picked up on the fall season on all 4 networks. Not one, no new sitcoms. Vanity Fair talked about one of Jerry's jokes, a Pop-Tart joke that shows up in the special 23 Hours to Kill. Jerry said he spent 10 years testing the joke, refining it, and making sure every beat hit just right before he committed it to film. Over the years, Jerry would joke about making the Pop-Tarts movie. Another co-writer, Andy Robbins, suggested making the money like The Right Stuff, except set in the cereal world. That idea tickled Jerry, so they all started writing it. The cast, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer. She's actually doing press. We'll get to Amy and got more about Amy on Saturday. Melissa McCarthy, Hugh Grant, John Hamm, Sarah Cooper, who, I haven't been the biggest fan of in the clips, looks pretty good in this. James Marsden, Peter Dinklage, Bill Burr, Dan Levy, Christian Slater, Sebastian Maniscalco, Cedric the Entertainer, and more. And Jerry called out all the favors, but yeah, if Jerry asked you to be in a movie, you're going to go, yeah. I bet directors get mad at Jerry. Jerry said, directing's nothing. When you have an idea as a writer, you know how you want it to be, but most writers are not good at talking to people and navigating a layered social situation. But as a comedian, I'm able to do that. It's just a way to streamline. It's just a writer making a movie. That's all a director is for me. Minor spoiler. I'll give you 3 seconds here. I'll babble, but I'm not going to ruin the Pop-Tarts movie for you. In the movie, Jerry's character appears on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in a scene set in 1963. Jerry said that was too fun because we made it the New York Tonight Show where Jimmy Fallon is now. We got Kyle Dunnigan to do the Carson impression, and then we did the CGI face replacement thing. It's pretty flawless. The hardest part was getting the hair right. The set is exact duplicate of his old set, which we took from old video, and obviously the face is his face. Yeah, it's really funny to go on The Tonight Show in 1963. For me, obviously, it was a dream come true. That is a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing that scene. That's when I was first watching comedians and falling in love with them. Did Jerry write the film with certain actors in mind? The only person we knew was Jim Gaffigan was going to play Edsel Kellogg, mostly because I thought he looked so perfect. He's such a food guy, such a funny guy. Because it was my friend, I knew he'd say yes, so we just knew we had him, but we didn't know we had anybody else. Now, this is making me think, Tom Papa, who's friends with Jerry and used to open for Jerry, Tom Papa's, everyday look is, straight out of 1963. He looks like he could have been in an episode of The Phil Silver Show. Is Papa not in this? Because he's got the look, more than Gaffigan. Another long podcast today. Amy Schumer doing press. I'm guessing Jerry beckoned. Amy has clarified her stance on the ongoing Israel-Hamas war after receiving backlash for her social media posts. Amy said, I don't agree with anything that Netanyahu is doing, and neither do the Israelis I know. Of course, what's going on in Gaza is sickening, horrifying, and unthinkable, and I don't think it's okay to hate anyone because they were born Jewish. It's gotten to this place where you can't speak up for other Jews without people feeling like it's a slight to the conditions in Gaza. On Gossip Corner, Jon Stewart was at the Knicks game. He did not have fun. Tyrese Maxey scored 46 points against the Knicks. 76ers 112, Knicks 106. There was a screenshot of Jon Stewart's reaction at the end of regulation time. The game went to overtime. Maxey had just drained a 35-foot three-pointer to tie the game at 97 with 9 seconds on the clock. Stewart was clearly not happy, and his reaction showcased it. He went on Twitter and wrote, respect to Maxey, but damn, I'm clearly getting too old for this stuff. So, I don't want to confuse you guys, but I'm confused. I believe Cat Williams live Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. However, as I've been going through the Netflix schedule, I see the concert is at 5 Pacific, which is 8 Eastern. But as I thought about it more, I guess there are openers and Cat himself will come on at 10 o'clock. Maybe that makes sense. I already pre-taped Saturday. So if you hear me getting confused on Saturday about that, I think the show's actually on at 10. But just to be sure, you might want to tune in Netflix a little early. Sunday is the roast of Tom Brady. We found out a few more people are going to be on the roast. I'm a little worried about this event. I'm not seeing too many comedian names. Bill Belichick will be on the roast. Okay, that's a lot of fun. Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Drew Bledsoe, and Ron Gronkowski, all famous comedians if you follow the comedy NFL. Mark Wahlberg, Ben Affleck is probable, and Kevin Hart. Where are the comedians? Is this thing a bomb? Do comedians not want to roast Tom Brady? I'm a little worried here. What's going on? More from that Vulture profile of Robbie Pra, who runs the Netflix festival and Netflix comedy. They asked, were you surprised how well Matt Rife's special did last year? Robbie said, I can't speak to the specifics of each individual deal in that way, but if you look at the profile of Matt Rife, there are very few comedians that are young. He's coming to this marketplace and is speaking to an audience that most other comedians aren't speaking to. It's very cool to watch the next generation of comedians kind of pop up right in front of our eyes. Two other examples, Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. We did a special with Shane last year, took a flyer on it, and he's going to sell out the Crypto Arena, the Forum, and the Greek. Follow-up question, is the festival designed to spotlight newer acts? Robbie said, we've had a steady stream of multi-comic specials. I'm in my office right now, and I'm looking at the first multi-comic special that we did in 2017, which is called The Stand-Ups. There were 6 comedians, but the first person was Nate Bargatze. The same night, we were filming a Fortune Feimster special. She was one of the 6 people on the stand-ups. The next person was Dion Cole. Then we had Nikki Glazer, who's going to be on the roast of Tom Brady. Oh, look, well, we just learned. As well as Beth Stelling, who we just launched a special with about 6 months ago. We see somebody film something, and we look at it and we say, hey, we have a real opportunity for this person to explode on Netflix with us. A few years ago, we did a show called The Comedy Lineup. One of the stars of that show was Michelle Buteau. Another star was Taylor Tomlinson. He was asked about Chappelle. Robbie said, I respect the fact that certainly some folks won't respond to certain things, but at the end of the day, we want to give people options. Part of that is some people's favorite thing to do on a Saturday night might be to watch a Dave Chappelle special. For some people, it might be Taylor Thompson or Mae Martin or Sarah Silverman or John Mulaney or Chris Rock. And we don't want to block those choices for our members. We want to give them the option. Our members have the ability of clicking on something. They have the ability to shut off something. A lot more to that. I'll get into that more next week. Let's see who's at Netflix tonight on Thursday. All-time specific, 7:30. Jerry, Jim, Nate, and Sebastian. Wanda Sykes at 8. Ralph Barbosa, 7 and 9:45. Dion Cole, 6:30 and 9:30. Joe List at 7. Gary Owen at 7:30. Gianmarco Ceresi at 7. Steph Tolev at 8. Maj Jabrani, 7:30, 9:45. And some other shows I didn't read to you. All right, I know what I'm going to make you do. Tonight, you're going to follow me, and I'm going to make you go see Gianmarco Ceresi, and then we're going to go see Maz. That is a good night. Over at the Sydney Comedy Festival. I won't do clips today as we're getting a little long, and I'll save them for next week when there's less going on. Andrew Maxwell's show is called Live in Sydney. He's been a very busy boy. He's grown a beard, made more people, been on loads of telly, supported Jim Jeffries in front of around 100,000 people on his European tour, and he's even started a podcast. The Daily Mirror said, if you can only see one stand-up act, see Maxwell. That's high praise, 5 stars. Australia's Funniest Lawyers are at the Comedy Store. Australia's Funniest Lawyers features a lineup of criminal prosecutors, barristers, government regulators, and corporate solicitors who are also funny. 4 comedians who will each perform 12 to 15 minutes of material. Daniel Towns' show is called Let's Go, the way the youngins do that whole Let's Go thing. The description, new show, big comedy times with one of the best stand-ups the Australian scene has birthed. GQ said, pound for pound, one of the best Australian stand-ups going around. Oh, I forgot to tell you yesterday. Jim Gaffigan mocked Governor Kristi Noem, you know, the puppy-killing governor, that one. Jim said, I just hope Kristi Noem's doing okay. Are there people in the country that are like, you know what? She should have shot 2 dogs. There's a way to wrap a podcast with a good laugh, John. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They may like it too. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you'd like this thing without the ads. Wait till I get up in the morning and you'll get the commercial-free version probably before 8 a.m. Eastern. Become a subscriber on Apple Podcasts. I had a phone call with the back-end people. We're trying to figure that out so it will just automatically be commercial-free at 3:05 a.m. Eastern. But not yet. I don't want to overpromise to you. But like if you live in, say, Central Time and your name is Becky, you're not up in the morning. You can wait an hour. It'll be there when you get up. Have a great day.